On a cold winter day in New York, the city felt wrapped in a hard, metallic silence, the kind of cold that bites through coats and settles into bones. Snow clung to the edges of sidewalks like forgotten memories, and the river below the old bridge moved slowly, dark and unforgiving, carrying chunks of ice like broken promises. Few people noticed the man who stopped in the middle of the bridge. He looked ordinary too ordinary for what he was about to do. He glanced around once, nervously, then leaned over the railing. In his trembling hands were two small shapes wrapped in a thin towel. Golden retriever puppies, no more than a few weeks old. Their eyes barely open, their bodies too young to understand fear yet. The man hesitated for a moment, as if something inside him begged to stop. Then he let go. The towel fell away mid-air. Two tiny bodies hit the freezing water with soft, helpless splashes. The river swallowed their cries instantly, pulling them into its icy grip. And then there was silence again. Except it wasn't complete. From the far end of the bridge came a sound that didn't belong to winter or steel or stone. A cry, high, sharp, and filled with terror. Their mother. She had been waiting. The golden retriever had followed the man from a distance, her instincts screaming that something was wrong. She had trusted humans once, trusted them with food, warmth, and safety, trusted them with her puppies. Now she stood frozen on the bridge, her breath coming out in desperate, white clouds as she watched her babies disappear into the dark water below. For a split second, she didn't move. Then instinct took over. She ran. Her paws slid on the icy pavement as she raced toward the railing. She didn't understand bridges or currents or death. She only knew one thing. Her puppies were down there. Without hesitation, she jumped. The water was agony. The cold slammed into her like 1,000 knives, stealing the air from her lungs. The river dragged at her fur, heavy and merciless, trying to pull her under. But she fought, clawing through the current, eyes wide, heart pounding, with one purpose only: find them. The puppies were already struggling. Their tiny legs paddled weakly, their bodies sinking and rising as the current spun them apart. One drifted closer to the bridge's shadow. The other was being pulled farther downstream. The mother chose neither. She chose both. With a strength born only of love and terror, she swam first toward the closer puppy, grabbing him gently by the scruff and lifting his head above the water. He whimpered, weak but alive. She pushed him toward the concrete embankment, nudging him onto a narrow ledge slick with ice. Then she turned back. Her muscles screamed. Her vision blurred. Every stroke felt heavier than the last. But when she saw the second puppy, his head barely above water, something inside her roared. She reached him just as he began to slip under. Her jaws closed around his scruff, and she kicked with everything she had left. Above them, on the bridge, someone finally noticed. A jogger had stopped, staring down in disbelief. A woman walking her dog screamed. Phones came out. Someone shouted for help. Another ran toward the end of the bridge, slipping on ice as he dialed 911 with shaking fingers. Down below, the mother dog reached the embankment again. She tried to lift the second puppy up, but her strength failed. Her paws scrabbled uselessly against the concrete. The puppy slipped. She grabbed him again. And again he slipped. Her body shook violently now, the cold claiming its victory inch by inch. Still, she refused to let go. That was when hands reached down. Human hands. Strong, careful, urgent. A man lay flat on the icy ground, stretching as far as he could while another held his legs. Together, they managed to grab the puppy and pull him to safety. The mother dog tried to climb out, but her body wouldn't obey. She was sinking. Without thinking, the man slid farther, ignoring the danger, and caught her collar. With a final desperate pull, they hauled her out of the river and onto the frozen concrete. She collapsed instantly. Her fur was stiff with ice, her chest barely moving. The puppies huddled together, crying weakly, their tiny bodies shaking uncontrollably. Someone wrapped a jacket around them. Another person covered the mother with a blanket, rubbing her sides, whispering words she couldn't understand but felt. Sirens wailed in the distance. Minutes felt like hours. When the emergency responders arrived, they worked fast. The puppies were placed in warming packs. The mother dog was lifted gently onto a stretcher, her eyes half closed, her breathing shallow. As they carried her away, one of the puppies whimpered. Her eyes opened. Despite everything, the cold, the pain, the exhaustion, her tail thumped weakly against the stretcher. She was still here. At the veterinary hospital, the odds were uncertain. Severe hypothermia, exhaustion, shock. The puppies were fragile, their bodies dangerously cold. But miracles don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they come quietly through steady hands, warm lights, and relentless care. Hours passed. Then one puppy stirred. Then the other. The mother lifted her head just enough to see them. She licked their faces with what little strength she had left. And the fight was over. They survived. The story spread quickly. News stations called it the miracle on the bridge. Strangers sent blankets, food, toys, and donations. Offers to adopt poured in from across the country. But there was only one thing that truly mattered. The family stayed together. A rescue organization stepped in, promising safety, warmth, and a future free from fear. The puppies grew strong, their golden fur bright and soft once more. The mother healed slowly, both body and spirit, learning again carefully that not all humans turn away. On cold days, when the river freezes and the bridge stands silent, some say you can still feel it. That moment, when love was stronger than ice, when a mother refused to let go. Description: YouTube story description. On a freezing winter day in New York, two innocent golden retriever puppies are thrown into an icy river left to die without mercy. But their mother refuses to accept that fate. In a breathtaking act of courage and unconditional love, she leaps into the freezing water, battling the current and the cold to save her babies. This emotional true-style story will break your heart and restore your faith in love, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her children.